Namaste. I welcome all my dear SSLC students and all the viewers for today's science e-learning program class. Dear students, in the last session we discussed few important points regarding our environment chapter. In today's session we are going to discuss about ozone layer depletion, ozone layer formation and also bad effects of ozone layer depletion, and we are also going to discuss about waste management. So let us recall what we have studied in the last class. Students, in the last class we discussed about our environment, ecosystem, types of ecosystem and also its components, food chain, food web and also flow of energy and 10% law. The main learning points we are going to discuss in today's class is biological magnification or biomagnification, formation and depletion of ozone layer, managing the garbage we produce, biodegradable materials as well as non-biodegradable materials. Dear students, have you heard about this chemical endosulfan? Yes, it's an pesticide which was developed in the year 1954. 20 years ago, cashew growers in Kasaragod used an insecticide. This is nothing but endosulfan, and it was extensively used by them. They started using this endosulfan in the year 1976, which resulted in several hazardous effects in the health of human beings, such as mentally retardedness, retarded growth development is decreased. Even it also affected useful and necessary insects also. So that led to major problem, and our government has banned this particular pesticide usage. And have you heard about DDT? Yes, the full form is dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane. This DDT powder is used to kill ants, and the powder also caused many problems because it is also a non-biodegradable pesticide. It gets accumulated in our body. Also it causes several problems. Apart from that, it also pollutes our soil. It also causes land pollution, even water pollution. So this particular pesticide is also banned in Karnataka by our government. Students, have you heard about the term biomagnification? Yes, you are right. Biomagnification is mainly resulted because of usage of non-biodegradable, harmful chemical pesticides. In agriculture, we spray many pesticides and other chemicals to protect crops from diseases and pests. You can see in this picture. Farmers spraying pesticides and chemicals to protect the crop from diseases and also to increase the yield. But this will result in major problem, that is nothing but biological magnification or biomagnification. These chemicals and pesticides, they are non-biodegradable and they are highly toxic. They get mixed up with the soil and water and results in land pollution, even water pollution. Students, these pesticides are absorbed by plants along with the water and other chemicals. Thus, pesticides enter the food chain at producer level. When it gets dissolves in water, of course, when the plants absorb the water and minerals, along with the water and minerals, it enters the plant body. Plants are the producers in any food chain, and plants, when it is eaten by the herbivores, the chemical enters the body of herbivorous animal and other carnivorous animals also. So that results in biological magnification. Here you can see in this picture, lake. This lake contains harmful pesticides which are non-biodegradable one, and it is used for agriculture purpose. And when grasses or these crops were eaten up by the insects, of course it enters the body of insects. And when these insects are eaten up by the other consumer animals such as primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, you have studied that in our food chain. It slowly passes from one trophic level to other trophic level. In this way, the harmful toxic chemical gets stored in the body of organisms. These chemicals are non-biodegradable one and are stored in every trophic level. You can see grass. From grass, when the grass is eaten by the grasshopper, of course that chemical enters the body of grasshopper. In case that grass contains 0.05 ppm level of harmful pesticide, in case the grass is eaten by grasshopper, then here you can see in the body of grasshopper the chemical accumulated is 0.20 ppm, and frog eats around 5 grasshopper. Of course, then the percentage of harmful chemical keep on increasing. You can see here 1 ppm level is present in the body of frog. Again, this frog is eaten up by snake. In case the snake eats around 3 frogs, of course then the chemical stored in the body of snake is 3 ppm. Snake is eaten by eagle. Then in case 3 snakes were eaten by the eagle, then about 9 ppm level of toxic chemical pesticides present in the body of eagle. Students, you can see in this picture 9 ppm level of toxic pesticides approximately present in the body of eagle. Hope you understood what you mean by biological magnification now. Every stage the concentration of the toxic chemicals keep on increasing. Can you define what is biological magnification? Yes, you are right. Biological magnification is nothing but the increase in the concentration of a toxic substances or a pollutant in the body of living organisms at each trophic level of food chain is called as biomagnification or biological magnification. Same thing you can observe in a pond ecosystem. In water, the concentration of toxic chemical is 0.00003 ppm level. In floating small animals body, 0.0 ppm level. Small fishes 0.5 ppm, and big fishes the chemical stored is about 2 ppm, and in eagle's body it is 25 ppm level. So density of DDT at different level keep on increasing, and the food grains such as wheat and rice, vegetables and fruits and even meat contain various amounts of pesticide residues. They cannot always be removed by washing or by other means. So whatever we eat nowadays, there is a chance that these food substances may contain harmful chemical. And in this particular picture you can see biological magnification through food chain. Low level present in the producer level, only a small amount of toxic chemical accumulated. It was eaten up by the cow, and we consume cow's milk. Of course, it enters the body of human beings, and when mother feed a child, of course, in child's body also the toxic chemicals get accumulated. So in this way, the biomagnification is very, very dangerous. It affects the growth of the kids or small children's, and it also causes hazardous health effects in human beings. Students, biomagnification is usually maximum in human beings. Why? What is the reason? Can you answer? Yes, you are right. In any food chain, human beings occupy the top level, so maximum concentration of these toxic chemicals get accumulated in our bodies. Understood, students? Students, are our activities impacting the environment or causes any damage to the environment? Yes, we are integral part of our environment, and our activities causes damage to the environment. It causes several pollution. It may be urbanization, industrialization, etc. And also changes in the environment affects our body. In this particular chapter, we are going to study two major problems arise in the environment from our activities. One is depletion of ozone layer, and second one is disposal of waste materials. Students, what do you mean by ozone layer? Yes, you are right. Ozone is a triatomic molecule of oxygen. It is made up of 3 atoms of oxygen. Okay. How this ozone layer form? Yes, ozone is a compound formed by the reaction of ultraviolet radiation with the oxygen molecule in the upper atmosphere. The ozone layer is found in the stratosphere in an atmosphere 15 to 50 kilometer away from Earth. Students, observe this animation. High energetic rays of sun breaks the oxygen molecule, and this nascent oxygen atom is highly reactive. It gets combined with the oxygen molecule, and that results in ozone molecule. Hope you understood, no students? The high energy UV radiation split apart some molecular oxygen into free oxygen atoms or nascent oxygen atoms. Harmful UV rays breaks the oxygen molecule into free oxygen atoms. These atoms are highly reactive. They combine with the molecular oxygen to form ozone. You can see here. Students, what is the importance of ozone layer? Of course, this ozone layer protects the Earth's surface from harmful ultraviolet radiation coming from sun. This ultraviolet radiation is extremely harmful to organisms because it causes skin cancer in human beings, even eye defects, skin irritation, etc. Also, it retards the growth of plants and animals. Apart from this, it also affects biogeochemical cycle. Hence, ozone layer plays very important role in preventing the ultraviolet radiation reaching the Earth's surface. See, you can see here skin irritation, even skin cancer, skin allergies, etc. Observe this animation. Ozone layer, which is present in the stratosphere, protects our Earth's surface from harmful UV rays. You can clearly see this in this particular animation. Ozone layer absorbs the UV rays. By this way, UV rays are filtered and it is not reaching our Earth's surface. Got it, students? Importance of ozone layer. Hence, depletion of ozone layer is a cause of concern. See? Okay, students, now you understood importance of ozone layer. Hence, depletion of ozone layer is always dangerous to our environment. It results in several problems. What impact do our activities have on the environment? You are observing in this picture, 2 people, they are sitting in an AC room, and in every houses we are using this refrigerator. Is there any effect of using AC refrigerators in our houses? Yes. It also results in ozone layer depletion because synthetic chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons, which are used as refrigerants and in fire extinguishers, are responsible for the depletion of ozone layer. And this chlorofluorocarbon is one of the main pollutant that is responsible for depletion of ozone layer. You can see in this particular animation, chlorofluorocarbon, when it reacts with the high energetic ultraviolet rays, chlorine gets separated, and you know that this chlorine is highly reactive and it breaks the ozone molecule, and in this way it is responsible for depletion of ozone layer. Understood, students? Okay. So this chlorofluorocarbon is one of the major pollutant responsible for ozone layer depletion. Apart from that, other gases such as methane, halogens, nitrous oxide, they are also responsible for ozone layer depletion. Now let us discuss prevention of damage to the ozone layer. Yes, in 1987, the United Nations Environment Programme UNEP succeeded in forging an agreement to freeze CFC production at 1986 levels. It is now mandatory for all the manufacturing companies to make CFC free refrigerators throughout the world. So nowadays, even refrigerating manufacture companies, even AC companies, they will manufacture refrigerators which are free from chlorofluorocarbon. Students, next let us study one more very important concept, managing the waste what we produce. We are now using various kinds of materials in our daily life. We follow a use and throw culture in our society. It is estimated that each person approximately produces 6 kg of waste per day. Apart from that, nowadays in every functions we use plastic cups, plastic bottles, plastic plates, etc. And a small amount of these waste what we produce is recycled and remaining is burned or stored in an empty area, and that becomes a breeding site for harmful insects, mosquitoes, which results in several bad effects or adverse effects in human beings. Understood, students? Students, can we eat coal and get energy? Is there any chance? No. The food what we eat is digested by many enzymes in our body, and enzymes are specific in their function. Degradation of specific substances requires specific enzymes, and there are no enzymes that digest coal in our bodies. So we cannot get energy by eating coal. Similarly, the waste what we produce of two types. One is biodegradable one, another is non-biodegradable one. Biodegradable wastes are degraded by activity of microorganisms or saprophytes, but non-biodegradable waste such as pesticides, plastics, etc. cannot be degraded. They will accumulate and remain for a longer period of time in our environment and causes soil pollution, air pollution, even water pollution. What are saprophytes? Students, saprophytes are the living organisms that live and feed on dead and decaying organisms and derive their energy. Good example, fungi and certain bacteria. Yeast, mushrooms comes under fungi. These are the very good examples. They are also called as decomposers, and they are environment cleaning agents which cleans our environment. Students, we produce lots of waste in our daily activities. And what are these wastes? What happens after we throw them away? We try to perform a small activity. You people try to perform a small activity in your school or in your home and observe and write down the results. Okay? Activity is collect waste material from your homes. This could include all the waste generated during a day like kitchen waste, spoiled food, vegetable peels, used tea leaves, milk packets and empty cartons, waste paper, empty medicine bottles, strips, bubble packs, old and torn clothes and broken footwear. Bury this material in a pit in the school garden, or if there is a space available, you can collect the material in an old bucket or flower pot and cover with at least 15 centimeter of soil. Next, what you are going to do? Keep this material moist and observe at 15-day intervals. What are the materials that remain unchanged over long periods of time? Note it down. What are the materials which change their form and structure over a time? Note it down. And also, of these materials that are changed, which ones change the fastest? That also you note it down. By doing this activity, you will come to know what you mean by biodegradable pollutants and what you mean by non-biodegradable pollutants. Biodegradable substances are those materials that are broken down by biological functions or microbial activity. These wastes are called as biodegradable substances or biodegradable pollutants. Most common example, kitchen waste, peels of vegetables and fruits, even dead bodies of plants and animals. Cow dung, paper, all these things are considered as biodegradable substances because they remain in an environment for a short duration of time and does not cause any pollution. Non-biodegradable substances are materials that cannot be broken down by biological functions or microbial activity. Good examples are plastics, pesticides, insecticides, etc. Even rubber, plastic bottles what we use, they remain for a long duration time and can harm many ecosystems. Even nowadays our lifestyle also causes hazardous effect on the environment. Garbage and disposal problem in cities or towns, you can observe this in our day-to-day life. Observe this picture. In cities this is the most common problem. Even altered packaging methods are also turning our waste into non-biodegradable materials. Nowadays food packets, water bottles we are using that may also cause us pollution. When we visit any tourist place, we throw empty packages of food everywhere. The most commonly used insecticides and pesticides are major problem to our environment. How can you help in reducing the problem of waste disposal? Can you give any two methods, students? Yes, waste disposal literally mean getting rid of waste. Some prominent methods of waste disposal are landfills, recycling of waste, even incineration. You can observe here landfills, this is the one method. There are several methods, but this is the one method. Second one, production of biogas and manure. By using the agricultural waste, we can produce biogas which can be used as a fuel. Also, we can obtain manure from it. Even preparation of compost, which will be very useful, increasing the fertility of soil. Recycling, this is also one of the best method of waste disposal. Incinerator, this incineration technique is commonly used in hospitals to burn the non-biodegradable, harmful waste materials. Students, can you write any three activities which are eco-friendly? Yes. Making the compost of biodegradable waste by burying them under soil, use of cloth bags instead of polythene bags, using CNG, compressed natural gas, in vehicles instead of petrol or diesel. So these are the best methods to prevent the pollution. Now, are you ready to answer few multiple choice questions? Okay. First question, two stages equations of ozone layer formation. Options are, there are four options given. Which is the correct one, students? Yes, you are right. Option B is the correct answer. Very good, students. Now the second question for you. The influence of these leads to the formation of ozone by the oxygen in the upper stratosphere. Options are X-rays, ultraviolet rays, infrared radiations, radio waves. Which is the correct option? Yes, students, you are correct. Ultraviolet rays. Next question. Element that causes the depletion of the ozone layer. Remember, the question is asked, element that causes the depletion of the ozone layer. I already told you, chlorofluorocarbon is the major pollutant that causes the depletion of ozone layer, and here they have asked you about the element. Hence the correct answer is, yes, you are right, chlorine. Next question, Which of the following groups contain only biodegradable substances? They have given 4 options. The right answer is wood, paper, skin. Very good, students. Next, which of these organism pair are important decomposers in the ecosystem? 4 options are there, and the correct option is option D, fungus and bacteria. They play a very important role in decomposing the harmful waste substances. Now I am going to give you few activities you try to do in your school under the guidance of your teacher. Newspaper reports about pesticide levels in ready-made food items are often seen these days, and some states have banned these products. So you have to list such banned products. Second activity, find out from the library, internet or newspaper reports which chemicals are responsible for the depletion of ozone layer. Find out if the regulations put in place to control the emission of these chemicals have succeeded in reducing the damage to the ozone layer. Third activity, next activity, use the library or internet to find out more about biodegradable and non-biodegradable substances. How long are various non-biodegradable substances expected to last in our environment? These days, new types of plastics which are said to be biodegradable are available. Find out more about such materials and whether they do or do not harm the environment. One more activity, find out how the local industries in your locality treat their waste. Are there any mechanisms in place to ensure that soil and water are not polluted by this waste? Next, search the internet or library to find out what hazardous materials have to be dealt with while disposing of electronic items. How would these materials affect the environment? Find out how plastics are recycled. Does the recycling process have any impact on the environment? Students, try to do these activities in your schools. Now I am going to give you home assignment. Are you ready? Please take a book and write down the questions and try to answer these questions by using the textbook and also under the guidance of your teacher. First question, what is biological magnification? How this magnification level varies in different levels of ecosystem? Second question, why does the damage to the ozone layer cause of concern? What measures are being taken to limit this damage? Third question, how can you help reduce waste disposal? Mention 2 ways. Fourth question, although pesticides are useful to farmers, it is still considered harmful waste. Give reason. Fifth question, what is the role of decomposers in the ecosystem? Students, try to answer these questions and also read. Students, till now in this session we discussed in detail regarding biological magnification, ozone layer formation, ozone layer depletion, and why ozone layer is important. And also we discussed about the effects of ozone layer depletion and action taken by the different nations. And also we discussed several methods to dispose the waste what we produce in our daily life. So students, it is our responsibility to protect this environment from pollution. So we have to follow eco-friendly activities, methods in our day-to-day life. So it's our responsibility to protect this nature. So thank you, students. Namaste.